Hi guys and welcome to Exciting Times with Johnny. I'm Johnny and today we're going to read a book from a New York Times bestseller, as it says here in the book. This book is by Peter Brown. Have you guys ever read a book from Peter Brown? So this book is about a boy's quest for a greener world, one garden at a time. So this book is about a boy, and he planted so many plants, which is really important for us, for oxygen and food, because bananas and apples grow from trees, so we need to be thankful for that. And also Thanksgiving is coming up in a few days, weeks. But it's not just on Thanksgiving Day that we need to be thankful. It's every day that we need to be thankful, right? Okay, this book is called The Curious Garden by Peter Brown. You guys ready to read it? Well, I am. I'm just going to start reading it. Okay, here we go. There once was a city without gardens or trees or greenery or of any kind. Most people spend their times indoors. As you can imagine, it was a very dreary place. So see, there are no trees and no plants. However, there was one boy who loved being outside. Even on drizzly days, while everyone else stayed inside, you could always find Liam happily splashing through his neighborhood. It was on one such a morning that Liam made several surprising discoveries. He was wandering around the old railway, as he did from time to time, when he stumbled upon a dark stairwell leading up to the tracks. The railway had stopped working ages ago. And since Liam had always wanted to explore the tracks, there was one thing for the curious boy to do. Liam ran upstairs, pushed open the door, and stepped out onto the railway. The first thing he saw was a lonely patch of color. Wildflowers and plants were the last things he had expected to find up there. But when he took a closer look, it became clear that the plants were dying. They needed a gardener. What do you guys think will happen? Well, I think I know it. Let's read the book to find out. Liam may not have been a gardener, but he knew that he could help. So he returned the railway that very next day and got to work. The flowers nearly drowned, and he had a few pruning problems. But the plants patiently waited while Liam found better ways of gardening. As the weeks rolled by, Liam began to feel like a real gardener, and the plants began to feel like a real garden. So Liam is just a boy, and he's not actually a gardener. There was just the city with, no plants and no trees. And once he went up, to the railway, and he saw a little bit of little plant, right? A little tiny garden, just like a little tiny tree. But it had no water and, carbon dioxide and sun. That's what plants need to survive. So Liam, so far, he saw that railway upstairs, and so far he's starting to just help that little tree. You guys think he'll grow more trees and more plants? Let's find out. Most gardens stay in one place, but this was no ordinary garden. With miles of open railway ahead of it, the garden was growing restless. It wanted to explore. The tough little weeds and mosses were the first to move. They popped up farther and farther down the tracks and were closely followed by more delicate plants. Over the next few months, Liam and the curious garden explored every corner of the railway. Aw, it's really good to help your city, country, state, and the earth, right? It's really important. And there he is. Look at that, in the middle of all the flowers he planted. If this was a real book, we would all be proud of Liam. Yeah, he's helping a lot in the story, right? After spending his spring and summer and autumn with the garden, Liam's time on the railway was finally interrupted by winter. Heavy blankets of snow fell on the city that season. And for the first time since he'd become a gardener, Liam could not visit the plants. So there's now a lot of snow because the winter interrupted him from visiting every day his plants. And now it's just full of snow, so he can't go. But rather than waste his winter worrying about the garden, Liam spent it preparing for spring. After 3 cold months of the snow finally began to melt, and Liam rolled his new gardening gear over to the railway. You think he's gonna plant more, or you think those plants or trees will go away? Well, winter had taken a toll on the garden. Yeah, I was right. Look at all of that. So it started so beautiful, and now it's like this because all of the snow. But thanks to Liam's planning, his handy new tools, and a little help from the sun, the plants soon awoke from their winter sleep. Oh, do you guys see what he's doing? I see what he's doing there. The garden had always wanted to explore the rest of the city, and that spring, it was finally ready to make its move. Once again, the tough little weeds and mosses set out first. They popped up farther and farther from the railway and were closely followed by the more delicate plants. The garden was especially curious about old, forgotten things. A few plants popped up where they didn't belong. Others mysteriously popped up all at once. Okay, this is not where they belong, right? This is not where plants belong. But the most surprising things that popped up were the new gardeners. Look at the city now. Isn't it much beautiful with all green instead of just boring, right? Okay. Now, plants don't belong in the stairs, of course. They do belong in, maybe a forest or, where you have a picnic. There can be some in the ocean, so I'll say yeah. Have you guys ever seen these? I've seen these, so yeah, I'll say. Wow, a tree house, that's cool. In the middle of the 2 buildings, just separating them. And in a little, house here. Okay, pretty cool, right? There are many different spots plants can grow. Can you guys think of some other ones that were not on the paper? Well, let's continue reading. Many years later, the entire city has blossomed. But of all the new gardeners, Liam's favorite was where it all began. Now look, he gathered so many other gardeners, and from the beginning there were no plants, and he navigated his way through by working hard and struggling to make this beautiful masterpiece. Congratulations, Liam. You really helped. your city, right? You think that we can be heroes like Liam? Yeah, I think we can. And I know that we can. Well, that was the book, The Curious Garden. Did you guys like this book? This was my most favorite book. One of my favorite books I ever read in my YouTube channel. I loved it. I think that we can do the same as Liam and help our country and do the same thing as he did. Yeah, you know, there was nothing in the city. And then he grew something incredible. Then the snow came, and when he went again to the railway, after the snow went out, there was nothing. All the plants were gone, just like in the beginning. And then he was like, no, what I did was still good, but I will do it all over again. And he didn't give up, and he ended up with this. Look, can you see the cover? Isn't this a masterpiece? Yeah. If you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure to tell family members and friends to subscribe, give likes, and stay tuned, because we're trying to reach 150 subscribers here at the end of November. And I think that we can do it just like Liam. He chased his dreams to grow a masterpiece. And we can grow a masterpiece by reaching 150 subscribers. And all you need to do is just tell family members and friends to subscribe, give likes, and stay tuned, because we are almost there. We can do it just like Liam did. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.